purchased these two generators. One of them is an 8,000 watt generator, and it has running watts of about 7,500, and the other one is a 4,500 watt generator with running watts of 3,600. So they are basically the big one is basically twice the size of the little one. So what I want to do today is I'm going to unbox them, get them prepped and ready for you guys, and then I will start putting blowers onto them, and we'll see if the bigger blower can hold twice as many blowers, or if it would be better just to get a you know, twice as many of the small generators. Price wise, you're looking at about 75% of the cost for the little one over the big one. So it's about 1.5 times the price to get the big one than it would be you know, to buy two of the smaller ones. But anyway, let's check it out and see what happens. Comes with a wheel kit, comes with a conversion kit for the propane. Also comes with a lot of plug conversions. That's really cool right there. And a hardware kit. Then also a funnel and the tools that you need with the owner's manual. So that's some pretty good packaging as far as including all the stuff that you need. Okay, we have some warnings on the top. Do not overfill the tank. Do not pay attention to the fact that there's no engine oil in the crankcase. Add specified oil into the crankcase. Unit meetings. Before starting, set both of the fuel cock and the emergency fuel cock switched on. Pull to the left. Return to the choke. EPA carb approved, and again some of the other ones. The battery comes already installed. All we have to do is attach the wires. That's pretty amazing. Never seen one that comes with a battery. Of course, it may be treated, but there's a little bit of corrosion on there. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it. This is a complete package when you buy these. It's got everything that you need. So again, not so unhappy with this. This is pretty cool. Alright, so how much oil do you put in it? It tells you right there, 0.6 liters. And if you look on your container, it'll show you. Now this is done in milliliters, so you would go down to just about 400, from a full down to about 400. Would give you the 0.6 liters, and you should be good. So we have filled the oil. I've put about half a gallon of gas in it. I've connected the battery. I have turned the gas on, And we're going to turn the choke on, and we will check and see. Very nice. It is a little on the loud side. The Predators, I think, are a little bit more quiet, but you know, outdoor for generators, it is what it is. It's going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to let it run just a little bit, and I'll start plugging blowers into this, and we'll check to see how many we can get off of it.
See if you can figure out what's wrong with this thing. It won't crank up and everything seems to be put together right. Till I see it. Okay, stop back by. Don't worry about your boy now. He's doing good.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Starting watts and running watts are not the same thing, especially when you're talking about putting a blower on it and having it run for hours and hours now and then. You're going with running watts, not with starting watts. Now that being said, most motors, once they take more to start than they do to run, so they will kind of tick down. But I've got a 4500 3600 generator, which is one of the smaller ones, and then I also have a 8000 7500 watt running watt generator, which is on the bigger end as far as the rental is done. Now I want to show the difference between the two, and what the capabilities and what the limitations are on what we got going on here. Now let me show you the generator and how it works. Now it has one plug, which is a dual plug here. And the problem that you have with this is that this plug is on a 20 amp breaker. You see the breaker here? That's 20 amps. Most blowers run around 10 amps, 10.5 amps. This is a 1 horsepower zoom blower here. I've got plenty of those, so that's why we're using it. But most of them on your 1 horsepower blowers is going to run between 7 and 10 amps. And that will create a situation where you are getting real close to that 20 amp on the breaker. So I do not recommend that you run 2 blowers off of the 1 plug here like this is done here for an extended time, simply because it is literally not designed to run that many amps. You need to spread them out, you know, through the different plugs. Now, the problem that you have with the different plugs, and I can show you on the wrappers that we have here. This particular plug right here is a amp 3-prong, but you see what it does? It goes from 30 amp down to 15 amp. So even though you've got 3 plugs, you literally only have 15 amps because it has stepped it down. So you can only plug 1 blower into this. Even though you got 3 plugs, that doesn't mean that you can put 3 blowers on there, because you only have the 15 amps. And you're pulling the 10. Now this one has a center one here, which is an RV plug like this. And it is the same exact thing. And you can see the wrapper here. It is a 30 amp male to 15 amp female plug. So again, on your plug, you're only doing 15 amps. You can only do 3 blowers on something like this and run it and extended, and you're getting real close to the wattage when you do that, because each one of these blowers are running about 1200 watts, and at your running speed of 36 watts, you are right where you should be. So to be safe, you really don't want more than 2 blowers on this size generator at one time running for an extended time. If you did 3, you're going to max it out, which means you're going to get less fuel, and you're going to run the risk of you know, burning out one of these circuits or the actual generator itself. I don't really recommend you doing more than 2 blowers on this. Now, the good news is because you have a 20 amp circuit, you can not put a 1 horse on this. You could put a 1.5 or even a 2, because a 2 will only go up to about 16 amps. So you could run a 2 horsepower and then run your a 1 off of one of these, or you know, vice versa, a 1.5 or something like that, and create a situation where you've got different size blowers. But again, only 2 blowers at one time. For an extended period time, what I would run off of this. So this is not the generator that you want to take to a large event where you're using a lot of blowers. Now, on this one, what you have is you have the 30 amp plug, but again, we can only put this down to 15 amps, so you're only going to get 1 off of that. You have 2 20 amp breakers, but again, those breakers are running both of these in their GFIs, so you may have issues trying to overload that. I would only put 1 on each one of these, so 1, 2, 3, and then over here you have a 30 amp 4-locking 120 or 240. Again, it's 30, and most of them are only going to convert down to a 15 or a 20 amp. So you could do 4 blowers on this, maybe 5, but I wouldn't run it for long. And if you're talking about watts, again, we're running about 1200 watts on a 1 horsepower blower. You're going to run more watts on a bigger blower, but a 1 horsepower is 1200 watts. And as you can the running on this one is 7,500 watts. So 5, 6 is about your limit. If you did 6 at 1,200 watts, you're at 7,200 watts, which is, you know, on the upper end. 5 would probably be, you know, better for your generator and for your blowers and for your, you know, peace of mind. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show some capability of this. I'm going to put 4 blowers on the little one, and then I'm going to put as many as I can on this, and I'm going to run it just to see what the starting running power would be. I'm not going to run it for a long time. I'm not going to, you know, run it, you know, like you would in an event. And you definitely don't want to do this because it's just not designed for this. But I can show you that the starting power of these is pretty good. So we'll start that.